Who out there hasn't used Uber or Lyft yet? It is easy, it's convenient, and you don't have to carry cash or even a credit card. Sarasota County has not adopted any regulations, but now the state legislature is considering statewide rules, and ABC 7's Ray Collins has more.
Few things besides the internet itself have turned industries on their heads like Uber. And now, while the city of Sarasota and Sarasota County doesn't have any regulations for Uber, the city of Venice does, starting with a $100 application at City Hall. Irv Helmuth signed up to be an Uber driver last year, but was more to gain knowledge for his full-time job, which is running a taxi cab company. Helmuth says he's well aware of the checkerboard-like Uber regulations around the state.
In Sarasota County, there are no regulations, none. They completely stepped away from it. In Tampa, they have regulations, but they're not enforcing them.
And if you go to the Sarasota-Bradenton International Airport, there is a set of regulations there.
There's got to be some guidelines on what the insurance regulations are going to be, what driver background checks have to be, those type of things for the safety of the passenger. We implemented those not for any other reason, but you have to protect the passenger.
Airport Director Rick Piccolo says even though his longtime cab and limo drivers outside the terminal might not like it, he says there's a place for Uber.
It's been a very good thing. People love it. We think about 50% of our clientele are using it. We have no objections to it. I just think there has to be an even playing field and a regulatory environment to protect the passenger. The person who flies in here and has never been here before has to have some assurance that the vehicle they get into that's been approved by the local community has insurance on it and has a driver that's had some sort of background check to at least do the best possible to ensure their safety.
Piccolo says it's time the legislature gets involved.
A set of standards that's the same everywhere because it's going to be a statewide problem.
And Irv Helmuth agrees.
I think it's dangerous to the general public.
So we took these concerns to State Representative Joe Gruters in downtown Sarasota. He says his colleagues in Tallahassee are on the case.
Well, there's no question there's different rules and regulations all across this state because individual municipalities, counties have passed their own rules regulating these ride-sharing programs. So what the state's doing now is they're looking at a bill that's going to make a uniform law throughout Florida, really to keep people safe.
Gruters agrees you can't have 20 or 30 sets of regulations around the state, and besides, the Republican says Uber is a thorn in the side of unions.
But what it does is just going to take all these different rules that exist out there and just streamlines it, and it's going to prevent these individual communities where they have these strong taxi cab unions from going around and trying to prevent people from having access to this safe thing.
And for taxi cab drivers like Irv Helmuth, some state regulations can't come soon enough.
I'm not one that likes regulations, okay, because I'm a businessman. There are a lot of regulations get in our way, but there needs to be some kind of a level playing field or common sense that's not being used currently by drivers who are driving with no insurance at all.